People cannot find jobs. Our unemployment level is well beating. The reality is that for too many people in this country, they live far from places of work. And in essence, townships are what Verwoerd dreamed of, dormitories of unemployment. We are here today as BOSA saying we should not have these sites like this in the face of unemployment. This could be a factory. It could be a hub to register your businesses. It could help us improve ease of doing business. Dobsonville should be an employment driver. Internet facilities need to be coming here because you can run call centers from here, etc. Therefore, what we are principally saying here today is that these buildings must be handed over to businesses so that we can commercialize them and ensure that employment can be created. We fail that, we will achieve a divided South Africa where many South Africans who live in townships remain unemployed and spend exorbitantly on transport to get to places of work, whereas they could be working and living in the same places. Otherwise, when you talk about even issues of VAT, etc., to shield the poor is to make sure they work closer to home. I think certainly what government needs to do is, rather than making special economic zones in distant areas from where people actually live, let us, given the fact that we are trying to correct the legacy of apartheid, declare townships that were declared under apartheid special economic zones. By that, what we mean is, let's give tax incentives for people to come and set up businesses here. I'm saying to South African business community, if you set up a call center here, you should be zero rated for tax, for corporate tax, which makes it more profitable, it makes employment more possible. It also means that we can arrange, especially for what labor conditions look like.
But here in South Africa, there's very little to celebrate on Workers' Day, when our youth unemployment rate is the highest in the world, and when far too many of our own citizens do not have the dignity of work. Unemployment is the single biggest crisis facing our country. And that is why all spheres of government should be working together to be able to create jobs and grow the economy. I'm standing here in the city of Cape Town, where a new MyCity transport link is going to link workers with jobs. This is important because infrastructure-led growth helps to create jobs and ensure that workers are able to access more job opportunities. And that's why in a place like the city of Cape Town, 8 out of 10 people looking for a job can find one. We need other cities around the country to make infrastructure-led growth the focus of the job creation agenda so that we can get more citizens into work. It is also important that in the GNU, we use our positions in whatever ministries they are to create growth and create jobs. I'm very proud of the work that we've been doing in government. Dr. Leon Schreiber at Home Affairs has trusted tour operator scheme, which is bringing more tourists in here, which means more jobs. Whether it's Solly Malatsi, who's making smartphones cheaper so small business entrepreneurs are able to scale up their businesses. The incredible work that's being done by Dr. Dion George in forestry, fisheries and environment with his Fishing for Freedom, which is going to create more opportunities and licenses for small-scale fishers. And of course the work that I'm doing in the Department of Agriculture, 1.7 billion earmarked in this year's budget for small-scale farmers, assisting small-scale farmers as well to find access to markets, to allow them to grow their operations and of course take on more people. And not to forget the work being done by Severe Garube to equip the workers of the future with a decent education that allow them to be able to compete globally. The work that Dean McPherson's doing in public works with infrastructure-led growth and EPWP jobs. So for those sitting at home today without the dignity of work, my message is clear. Jobs are on the way. We're working hard every single day for the growth and jobs agenda. And we will continue to use our position in governments at a local, provincial and national level now to make sure that we grow this economy and create jobs so that in workers' days to come, there really will be something to celebrate with the rest of the world.
We say today, as you celebrate the Workers' Day, you must never forget to celebrate African women who were exploited, who were harassed, some of them sexually harassed by their bosses, and they never told anyone about that harassment. Because if they told that story, they were going to lose their jobs. We say to the African women, you must not be discouraged by the continuing exploitation of the working class. Fighters, Hausana the Union, Marikana, and everywhere else, it was because the unions sold out the workers. It was NUM that connived with the bosses and killed our people in Marikana. This EFF is a product of Marikana. This EFF was made by the blood of innocent workers of Marikana who were killed by Cyril Ramaphosa together with the greedy ANC. Comrades, we must never forget that our people in Marikana and in all the mines, they were fighting for a living wage. They were asking that the employer increase their salary to 12,500 to show that they were not going to damage the property of the employer. They left the mine and went to sit on top of a kopi. Even when they were peacefully sitting on top of a kopi, the mine bosses sent the police after them to go and kill them. No one must lie to you that those people were criminals. How can you be a criminal by just sitting on a kopi? They left Pretoria. They came here with a hash, prepared to kill. How do you go to an operation? You don't bring an ambulance. You bring a hash. You left wherever you left from with an intention to kill. They left wherever they left to come and kill innocent souls. Mam Bush will never rest as long as Cyril Ramaphosa is still the president of South Africa. Mam Bush will never rest as long as the ANC is still a government in Northwest. You must honor Mam Bush by allowing the ANC to leave power peacefully and usher in the government of the EFF, which will deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. It is only the EFF that will give a true recognition to black women and all those workers who were killed in Marikana. We have to make sure that Marikana is protected. From Rustenburg, we went straight into Parliament, and that's where we kept the name of Marikana alive. Let's tell you now that there is no DA government or the so-called GNU which will destroy the workers' rights. The rights of workers will be protected. The rights of workers we will fight for because they did not come cheap. All the benefits of the workers are at the center of the struggle of the EFF. We want workers paid proper salaries. We want workers to have leave days. We want workers to have a medical aid, to be admitted in proper hospitals without paying anything.
People sometimes even are forced to take the law into their own hands. We hear, tragic stories such as the one we had this week of even the police themselves being victims of crime. So, and we hear of police stations. We are told here that there are police stations that are guarded by private security guards. What is that? How can you have, our own police being guarded by private security companies? So, umkhonto wesizwe commits to going back to the basics, where we go back to neighborhood guards, where we go back to issues of street committees to ensure, because these criminals are known in the community, and our people, the way that Umkhonto weSizwe is structured is in such a way that we deliberately cooperate with religious leaders, other community structures, as I explained in my speech. There is no structure of society which should not have the presence of Umkhonto weSizwe.